For years, many believed that whatever storms surrounded the British monarchy, one relationship remained unshakable. Yet reports now suggest a decision so extraordinary that even seasoned royal observers are struggling to understand it. If King Charles III truly moved against Queen Camilla in this way, what could possibly have forced such a dramatic turning point? The first thing that makes this story so fascinating is not the alleged decision itself, but the person supposedly behind it. After all, King Charles III spent decades defending Queen Camilla through some of the most difficult periods in modern royal history. Long before King Charles III ascended the throne, long before Buckingham Palace formally recognized Queen Camilla's position within the royal family, King Charles III repeatedly demonstrated that Queen Camilla was not simply a companion, but an essential part of the life King Charles III envisioned for himself. That history matters because it immediately raises a question that many royal watchers cannot ignore. If King Charles III was willing to endure years of criticism, public scrutiny, and institutional resistance to keep Queen Camilla by his side, what could have changed so dramatically that reports of an ultimatum are now dominating the conversation? At first glance, some observers assume the story was simply another exaggerated palace rumor. The royal family has always attracted speculation, and stories involving internal tensions often grow larger as they move through newspapers, commentators, and social media discussions. Yet what caught the attention of experienced royal analysts was something much more specific. Rather than describing a routine adjustment of responsibilities, reports used language suggesting confrontation, division, and a significant disagreement over the future direction of the monarchy. That distinction immediately transformed the story from ordinary royal gossip into something potentially much more consequential. And this is where the situation becomes increasingly complicated. According to various reports and commentators, concerns have allegedly been building behind palace walls for quite some time. While the public often sees royal appearances, ceremonial engagements, and carefully managed photographs, the actual operation of the monarchy involves countless decisions about influence, priorities, charitable initiatives, staffing structures, and long-term strategy. Those decisions rarely attract headlines, but they often determine who truly shapes the institution's future. Many royal commentators argue that King Charles III has become increasingly focused on legacy. That should not surprise anyone. Every monarch eventually reaches a point where attention shifts away from immediate challenges and toward the question of what will remain after their reign. For King Charles III, that question may be especially significant because the reign itself began later in life than any previous British monarch. As a result, some analysts believe King Charles III has been looking more carefully at the next generation, particularly Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Now consider that for a moment. Wherever Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales appear, public interest remains remarkably strong. Whether attending state occasions, community engagements, or international visits, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales consistently generate positive reactions among large sections of the public. Polling discussed by commentators often places Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, among the most popular members of the royal family. If King Charles III sees Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as central to the monarchy's future, then an entirely new question emerges. Could disagreements about that future have created tensions inside the institution itself? That possibility has fueled enormous discussion. Some royal observers claim that competing visions for the monarchy may have been developing behind closed doors. On one side stands the immediate reign of King Charles III and Queen Camilla. On the other stands the future represented by Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. While those visions do not necessarily have to conflict, reports suggest there may have been growing disagreements regarding influence, priorities, and the pace of transition toward the next era of royal leadership. The significance of that possibility cannot be overstated. This would not merely be a disagreement between family members. This would involve fundamental questions about how Buckingham Palace presents itself to the public, how royal duties are distributed, and how the institution prepares for the future. Those are not emotional questions. Those are strategic questions that affect the long-term survival of the monarchy itself. Interestingly, several commentators have also pointed toward the role of public perception. Unlike previous centuries, modern monarchies operate under constant scrutiny. Every appearance, every photograph, every speech, and every relationship becomes part of a larger public narrative. In that environment, popularity is not everything, but popularity certainly matters. King Charles III understands that reality better than most. For decades, King Charles III experienced firsthand how public opinion can shape the fortunes of members of the royal family. From moments of admiration to periods of criticism, King Charles III witnessed how quickly narratives can evolve. That experience may explain why reports increasingly focus on the importance of protecting the institution's future image. And yet another layer soon appeared. Several discussions surrounding the story have drawn attention to Catherine, Princess of Wales. While Catherine, Princess of Wales, is often described as calm, measured, and careful, many royal commentators believe Kate Middleton has gradually become one of the most influential figures within the royal household. Unlike influence built through formal authority, the influence of Catherine, Princess of Wales, often comes through trust, public goodwill, and the ability to unify different parts of the institution. If that assessment is accurate, then the role of Catherine, Princess of Wales, in the future of the monarchy may be far greater than many people realize. Which brings us to an even larger mystery. If concerns about legacy, succession, public perception, and influence were all converging at the same time, could the reported ultimatum actually be the result of a much deeper struggle over who will shape the monarchy's next chapter? Because if that is true, then what happened next may reveal far more than a family disagreement. It may reveal a battle over the future identity of the royal family itself. Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful royal analysis that goes beyond the headlines and explores the deeper forces shaping Buckingham Palace, be sure to subscribe and join our growing community. There is much more to uncover, and the next development may be even more revealing. But the real turning point in this story may not have come from King Charles III at all. According to several accounts, another senior royal figure may have played a far more significant role than anyone initially realized. And once that figure entered the conversation, everything reportedly began to change. If the reports are accurate, then the story did not truly accelerate when King Charles III allegedly signed the document. The story accelerated when questions began emerging about who may have influenced that decision behind the scenes. Because throughout royal history, major decisions rarely happen in isolation. The public often sees a single announcement, a single statement, or a single signature, yet those moments are usually the final chapter of conversations that have been unfolding for months or even years. And according to many royal commentators, the individuals closest to King Charles III may have played a far larger role in this unfolding drama than anyone initially realized. Among those names, one figure continues appearing again and again in discussions surrounding the future of the monarchy: Catherine, Princess of Wales. For years, Catherine, Princess of Wales, cultivated a public image built on stability, discipline, and consistency. Unlike other royal figures who frequently dominate headlines through controversy, Kate Middleton largely became known for avoiding unnecessary distractions while steadily expanding public trust. That reputation has made Catherine, Princess of Wales, one of the most respected members of the royal family, not only among supporters of the monarchy, but also among many observers who rarely follow royal affairs at all. But what if that public image tells only part of the story? Many royal analysts argue that Catherine, Princess of Wales, has gradually evolved into one of the most influential voices inside the institution. Not through confrontation, not through public speeches, and certainly not through dramatic displays of authority, but through something arguably more powerful within royal circles: credibility. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, speaks about the monarchy's future, people listen because Catherine, Princess of Wales, has spent years demonstrating commitment to royal duties without creating unnecessary turbulence. That raises an important question for viewers. If King Charles III was genuinely facing difficult choices about the future direction of the monarchy, whose advice would carry greater weight than Catherine, Princess of Wales? And that is where the narrative begins, shifting from personal conflict to institutional strategy. According to various reports and commentary, concerns allegedly existed regarding influence within palace operations, staffing decisions, charitable priorities, and long-term planning. Whether every claim is accurate remains impossible to verify, but the volume of discussion surrounding these issues has attracted significant attention. Some commentators suggest that Catherine, Princess of Wales became increasingly concerned about ensuring that Prince William, the future king, would eventually inherit a monarchy position for long-term stability rather than short-term internal compromise. That distinction matters because Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are no longer viewed merely as future royal figures. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are increasingly viewed as the monarchy's next leadership team. Think about that for a moment. Every appearance involving Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, is analyzed not simply as a current royal engagement, but as a preview of a future reign. Every public reaction, every crowd turnout, every international visit becomes part of a broader conversation about where the institution is heading. As that reality becomes more obvious, the influence of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, naturally grows. Yet another intriguing element soon emerged. Several commentators began highlighting the possible involvement of Princess Anne. Unlike many members of the royal family, Princess Anne has built a reputation over decades for placing duty above popularity. Princess Anne rarely seeks headlines, rarely participates in public drama, and rarely allows emotion to overshadow practical considerations. Because of that reputation, whenever Princess Anne is mentioned in connection with major royal decisions, observers tend to pay attention. Reports suggest that Princess Anne may have viewed the situation through a very different lens. Rather than focusing on personalities, Princess Anne reportedly focused on institutional risk. From that perspective, the central issue would not be whether Queen Camilla remained influential. The central issue would be whether any developing tensions threatened the long-term credibility of the monarchy itself. And here is where viewers should ask themselves something important. What happens when two of the most respected figures inside the royal family, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Princess Anne, potentially arrive at similar concerns regarding the future of the institution? For King Charles III, that would create a situation far more difficult to ignore. The significance becomes even greater when considering the historical context. Princess Anne witnessed firsthand some of the monarchy's most turbulent periods. Princess Anne observed public reactions during the breakdown of King Charles III and Princess Diana's marriage. Princess Anne experienced the aftermath of Diana's death. Princess Anne understands how quickly public trust can erode when royal controversies spiral beyond control. Meanwhile, Catherine, Princess of Wales, represents the future image the monarchy hopes to project for decades to come. Together, Princess Anne and Catherine, Princess of Wales, symbolize two powerful forces inside the institution: experience and future relevance. That combination may explain why so many commentators believe the alleged decision cannot be viewed solely through the lens of family relationships. Instead, many observers argue the story reflects a much larger struggle involving succession planning, public confidence, and long-term institutional survival. But here is where the story becomes even more fascinating. Because while King Charles III was allegedly receiving advice from trusted family members, reports suggest Queen Camilla was far from prepared to quietly accept any reduction in influence. In fact, according to several accounts, Queen Camilla's response may have transformed a private palace disagreement into a full-scale royal crisis. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and join our community, because the next stage of this story introduces allegations, reactions, and power dynamics that could completely change how many viewers interpret everything that has happened so far. Because if the reports surrounding Queen Camilla's reaction are even partially accurate, then the real battle may not have started with the ultimatum at all. The real battle may have started the moment Queen Camilla decided not to retreat quietly, and what reportedly happened next sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. The moment reports began describing Queen Camilla's reaction, the entire story entered a completely different phase. Up until that point, observers were largely focused on King Charles III, the future of the monarchy, and the growing influence of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Yet according to multiple accounts circulating among royal commentators, Queen Camilla was never expected to accept any perceived reduction of authority quietly. And whether those reports are fully accurate or not, the mere possibility of resistance immediately transformed a private royal disagreement into a potentially explosive institutional conflict. What makes this particularly intriguing is the unique position Queen Camilla occupies within the royal family. Unlike newer members of the institution, Queen Camilla has spent decades navigating palace dynamics, media scrutiny, public criticism, and royal politics. Queen Camilla witnessed the transition from one royal era to another. Queen Camilla observed relationships form and fracture. Queen Camilla developed connections across various layers of the royal household. In other words, Queen Camilla is not someone who arrived recently and learned the system from the outside. Queen Camilla understands how the machinery works because Queen Camilla has been operating inside that machinery for years. That reality raises an important question for viewers. If Queen Camilla genuinely believed that influence was being taken away, would Queen Camilla simply step aside without attempting to protect a position built over decades? Many royal analysts believe the answer is far more complicated. According to several reports, Queen Camilla allegedly viewed the growing prominence of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, through a different lens than King Charles III. While King Charles III may have increasingly focused on the future represented by Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, some commentators claim Queen Camilla saw the situation as a gradual marginalization of the role Queen Camilla had spent years establishing. From that perspective, the issue becomes much larger than personal pride. Imagine spending decades enduring criticism, controversy, and relentless public attention while remaining committed to a single goal, only to feel that influence beginning to fade at the very moment recognition finally arrives. Whether one agrees with Queen Camilla or not, many commentators argue that such circumstances would naturally create tension. And this is where another fascinating layer enters the story. Reports suggest that conversations inside palace circles allegedly became increasingly focused on influence networks rather than public appearances. Most viewers naturally focus on speeches, ceremonies, and photographs because those are visible to the public. Yet insiders often describe the true centers of influence as staff appointments, advisory relationships, charitable structures, and access to key decision-makers. If reports are correct, concerns allegedly emerged regarding who was shaping conversations behind palace doors. That possibility immediately raises another question. Was the story really about royal duties, or was it actually about competing centers of influence inside the monarchy? The distinction matters because institutions rarely experience major conflicts over symbolic titles alone. More often, tensions develop when different groups begin envisioning different futures. According to some royal observers, Buckingham Palace may have found itself caught between two competing realities. One reality focused on preserving the framework developed during King Charles III's reign. The other reality focused on accelerating preparations for the eventual leadership of Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales. As those competing realities allegedly became more visible, reports claim Queen Camilla grew increasingly frustrated. Then came another development that attracted enormous attention among royal commentators. Several reports began suggesting that individuals considered loyal to Queen Camilla were allegedly becoming sources of leaks, briefings, and internal frustrations reaching the media. It is important to emphasize that such claims remain unverified and should not be treated as established fact. However, the existence of those reports alone created an atmosphere of uncertainty. Think about the consequences for a moment. If senior palace figures begin suspecting that private conversations might reach newspapers, trust starts eroding remarkably quickly. Meetings become more cautious, discussions become more guarded, relationships become more transactional. In institutions built on discretion, uncertainty itself can become a source of instability. And once instability enters the equation, public perception becomes increasingly difficult to manage. That challenge appears particularly significant because the modern monarchy operates in a world completely different from previous generations. Stories no longer take days to spread through newspapers. Stories move globally within minutes. A single allegation can generate thousands of articles, videos, and social media discussions before Buckingham Palace has even prepared a response. For King Charles III, that environment creates extraordinary pressure. For Queen Camilla, that environment creates extraordinary risk. For Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, that environment creates extraordinary expectations. And for the royal family as a whole, that environment creates extraordinary vulnerability. Yet perhaps the most revealing aspect of the entire situation is the way public sympathy appears to be dividing. Some commentators argue that King Charles III is attempting to secure the monarchy's future. Other commentators argue that Queen Camilla is being unfairly portrayed as an obstacle to that future. Still others believe the real issue has little to do with personalities and everything to do with succession planning. So where should viewers place their trust? The moment Prince Harry entered the conversation, the alleged dispute stopped looking like an isolated palace disagreement and started resembling something far more familiar to longtime royal observers. Because regardless of where viewers stand on the ongoing divisions within the royal family, one reality remains impossible to ignore. Almost every major royal controversy eventually reconnects to the unresolved tensions surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. What makes this development particularly significant is that Prince Harry has spent years publicly criticizing what Prince Harry describes as institutional failures within the monarchy. Through interviews, documentaries, public appearances, and Prince Harry's memoir, Prince Harry repeatedly argued that the royal family often prioritizes protecting the institution over protecting individuals. Whether viewers agree with Prince Harry's perspective or not, those arguments have become a central part of the public conversation surrounding the modern monarchy. Now imagine the position Prince Harry would reportedly find himself in if allegations about Queen Camilla's ultimatum were true. According to various commentators, Prince Harry could view such a situation as evidence supporting concerns Prince Harry has expressed for years. From that perspective, Prince Harry might not see a dispute about influence, palace authority, or royal duties. Prince Harry might instead see another example of someone becoming expendable once institutional priorities change. And that raises a fascinating question for viewers. Would Prince Harry interpret the alleged treatment of Queen Camilla as proof that the monarchy has not changed? Or would Prince Harry see the situation as fundamentally different from the experiences Prince Harry and Meghan Markle claim to have faced? The answer is far from obvious. Many royal analysts believe Prince Harry's reaction would be shaped not only by current events, but by decades of family history. Prince Harry's relationship with Queen Camilla has always been one of the most sensitive subjects in discussions surrounding the royal family. Long before Prince Harry relocated to California with Meghan Markle, Prince Harry was navigating the complicated legacy left by the breakdown of King Charles III and Princess Diana's marriage. That history still casts a shadow over virtually every discussion involving Queen Camilla. For many members of the public, Queen Camilla's position within the monarchy remains connected to events that occurred decades ago. For younger viewers, those events may feel distant. For older royal followers, those memories remain remarkably vivid. Because when discussions turn toward Queen Camilla, many people inevitably revisit questions involving Princess Diana, public trust, and the transformation of the monarchy during one of the most turbulent periods in modern royal history. And this is where the emotional stakes become much higher. According to several reports and commentators, Prince William and Prince Harry may once again find themselves approaching the same issue from completely different perspectives. Reports suggest Prince William, the future king, allegedly views strong institutional leadership as essential for protecting the monarchy's future. Meanwhile, some observers believe Prince Harry would naturally focus more on the human consequences of any major royal decision. If that assessment is accurate, then the alleged ultimatum does not merely expose divisions surrounding Queen Camilla. The alleged ultimatum potentially exposes the philosophical divide separating Prince William and Prince Harry themselves. Think about that for a moment. For years, countless commentators have attempted to explain the growing distance between Prince William and Prince Harry. Some focus on family disagreements. Some focus on Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Some focus on media coverage. Others point toward entirely different causes. Yet beneath all those explanations lies a deeper question about what each brother believes the monarchy should become. Prince William increasingly represents continuity, stability, and institutional responsibility. Prince Harry increasingly represents criticism, reform, and personal accountability. When viewed through that lens, the alleged Queen Camilla controversy becomes much more than a dispute involving one individual. The controversy becomes a reflection of competing visions for the future of the royal family itself. Yet another intriguing layer soon emerged. Several commentators began discussing Meghan Markle's potential perspective on the unfolding reports. While Meghan Markle has not publicly commented on these specific allegations, royal analysts frequently note that Meghan Markle's experiences shaped many of Prince Harry's views regarding palace culture and institutional dynamics. As a result, some observers believe Meghan Markle would likely interpret the situation through the same framework that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have described repeatedly over the years. Namely, the idea that individuals can become vulnerable when institutional priorities shift. Whether that interpretation is fair remains open to debate. But the fact that so many commentators immediately connected Queen Camilla's reported difficulties to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle demonstrates how deeply the Sussex story remains woven into the monarchy's larger narrative. And perhaps that is the most revealing detail of all. Even after years of separation, even after countless headlines suggesting the relationship between Buckingham Palace and the Sussexes has permanently fractured, every significant royal crisis still seems capable of reopening old wounds. The names may change, the circumstances may change, yet the underlying questions continue resurfacing. Has the royal family learned from its past mistakes? Can Prince William and Prince Harry ever genuinely reconcile their differences? Can King Charles III successfully guide the monarchy through another period of public scrutiny? Or are deeper fractures still waiting beneath the surface? Before we continue, if you are enjoying this deep dive analysis into the forces shaping the future of the royal family, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and join our growing community. We follow every major royal development and explore the larger stories hiding behind the headlines. Because the next chapter may be the most important of all. While public attention has largely focused on Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Queen Camilla, and King Charles III, another figure has quietly emerged at the center of the conversation. And according to many royal commentators, that figure may ultimately benefit more than anyone else from the turmoil currently surrounding Buckingham Palace. That figure is Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the growing role of Kate Middleton may reveal where the monarchy is actually heading next. As the dust from the reported ultimatum continues to settle, perhaps the most revealing development is not what has been said publicly, but what remains unanswered. Throughout royal history, the moments that truly reshape the monarchy are rarely the loudest moments. More often, the most significant changes begin quietly, hidden beneath official statements, carefully managed appearances, and an institution determined to project stability even when uncertainty is growing behind palace walls. That is precisely why so many royal watchers have shifted their attention toward Catherine, Princess of Wales. Over the course of the story, Catherine, Princess of Wales has repeatedly emerged as a central figure, not because Catherine, Princess of Wales sought attention, but because circumstances seem to be placing Catherine, Princess of Wales at the heart of the monarchy's future. While King Charles III confronts questions about legacy, while Queen Camilla reportedly faces growing scrutiny, and while Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continue shaping conversations from outside the core royal structure, Catherine, Princess of Wales increasingly represents something that every institution desperately needs during periods of turbulence: continuity. But here is the question that continues fascinating observers across Britain, the United States, Canada, and beyond. Has Catherine, Princess of Wales, simply become the symbolic face of stability, or is Catherine, Princess of Wales, already playing a much larger role in shaping the monarchy's next chapter? Many commentators believe the answer may already be visible. When public confidence fluctuates, attention often moves toward figures who appear calm under pressure. When uncertainty dominates headlines, audiences naturally gravitate toward individuals who project steadiness. That pattern has repeated itself throughout royal history, and according to many analysts, Catherine, Princess of Wales, currently occupies that position more strongly than any other member of the royal family. Yet that observation introduces another fascinating layer to the story. If King Charles III is genuinely focused on protecting the institution's future, then every major decision must ultimately be evaluated through one question: what kind of monarchy will Prince William inherit? That question may be more important than any reported disagreement involving Queen Camilla. Think about it carefully. Long after the headlines fade, long after today's controversies are replaced by tomorrow's stories, the monarchy will still face the same challenge. The monarchy must remain relevant to future generations while preserving traditions that define its identity. Balancing those two priorities has never been easy, And many royal historians argue that every reign is ultimately judged by how successfully that balance is maintained. For Prince William, the future king, that challenge may be approaching faster than many people expected. For Catherine, Princess of Wales, that challenge involves becoming not only a future queen, but a figure capable of uniting different generations of royal supporters. And for King Charles III, that challenge may explain why legacy appears to be such a dominant theme throughout this entire story. Yet another question continues lingering in the background. What happens if Queen Camilla decides to speak publicly? Thus far, much of the discussion has been driven by reports, commentary, speculation, and competing interpretations. But if Queen Camilla eventually offers a direct response, the entire narrative could change overnight. Would Queen Camilla challenge the reports? Would Queen Camilla present an entirely different version of events? Or would Queen Camilla remain silent, allowing uncertainty to continue growing? Every day without a definitive answer creates new speculation. Every week without clarity creates new theories. And every unanswered question increases public curiosity. That reality helps explain why this story continues attracting attention despite the absence of confirmed conclusions. Because at its core, this is not merely a story about Queen Camilla, King Charles III, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, or Meghan Markle. This is a story about the future direction of one of the world's most recognizable institutions. It is a story about influence, succession, legacy, public trust, and the difficult choices that emerge whenever an institution attempts to prepare for the future while carrying the weight of its past. Before we conclude, if you have enjoyed this deep analysis of the royal family and the forces shaping the future of Buckingham Palace, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, we examine the stories behind the headlines, the unanswered questions, and the developments that could redefine the monarchy for years to come. And now we arrive at the central question that has hovered over this entire discussion. Was the reported ultimatum truly an act of necessity designed to protect the monarchy's future? Was the reported ultimatum the result of deeper tensions that had been building for years beneath the surface? Or is there still a larger piece of the puzzle that the public has not yet seen? Because regardless of where the truth ultimately leads, one fact remains undeniable. King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle all stand at the center of a period of extraordinary change for the royal family. The decisions made today may influence the monarchy for decades to come. What do you think? Do you believe these reports point toward a genuine struggle over the future of the monarchy? Or do you think the story has been exaggerated by speculation and media attention? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over and the next chapter may reveal far more than anyone expects.